Remember, folks, I'm a professional reviewer and reviewer, so please approach the rest of this fic with caution, and just remember, I will be getting to the flash stuff after the review because I gotta do the Nightmare Night and Nick stuff. Gotta feel like I wasted my time somehow, and people gotta know about reviewing, so here we go. The rest of the next chapter has Nyx walking around, continuing to be a whining crybaby towards Skulu and the others about how they dare use her image to spread lies and deceit and mockery. And all I could think of is RC's problem is that apparently police are using this to scare little fillies out of their candy and use it to swipe and steal and take away the kids' candy. We'll find out later this is bullshit, but that comes up next. And Nyx is upset about this. Which makes me think, does Reality Check have a problem when other places and shows scare little kids just for fun and make them drop their candy? Does he have a problem with that? Does he have a problem with just fun little things where kids are just getting scared for fun? Because it's starting to sound like to me he has a problem with kids having anything happen to them. And that he must protect them at all times. Which, of course, leads me to think that just maybe there might be a little problem with him upstairs. If you get my meaning. And so, Nyx, Skulu, and the others try to get back the candy. And Nyx's first thought is, I'm getting it back. I'm sorry, people. I just can't. No. Just no, and no. This is bordering on making Nyx too pure for the sinful earth levels of stupidity. Nyx, while still having a random growth spurt and having loads of trauma going through her, she is still a child. She is still a child raised by Twilight. You're telling me that there is no way that little bitty Nyx isn't going to have thoughts of stealing and making it her own and figuring out to take advantage of this? That suddenly she's going, no, I can't. This is too much. This is too far. I must return the candy because they demoralized and defaced me. Even though, again, here's a little bit of a problem, Nyx. It's been thousands of years. The Legend of Nightmare Moon is not about you, you selfish twit. You see, here's my biggest problem. Reality Check seems to ignore history here. Let me remind you. We have taken pride in saying that one of the greatest men in the American Revolution was Paul Revere, who ran out on that lonely night ride alone with nobody else. When the truth is, he ran out with a whole bunch of other people. He had help. But, nope. Thanks to Longfellow, it's now, Paul Revere did it all. And we believed that. And that was just in the span of 100 years. So, yeah, Nyx, this isn't all just dedicated to you. This is based off of myth and legend built up over time. So, yeah. Not only is Nyx being selfish, but, as I said, unrealistic. She's totally not really a filly here. She's some sort of high-up guardian of all filly who thinks that she's better than everyone else. Who thinks that she must defend the wee ones. No. Look, I was a pretty good kid growing up, noble and all, and hell, when a bunch of girls wandering around in bikinis outside of my hotel room when I was a young lad, I didn't join the rest of my preferred friends looking outside. I sat down. So yeah, I was a pretty noble guy back when I was younger. But even I had thoughts of lying, cheating, and stealing. So, no. Just, no. Don't try it. They soon come back to the falling candy and try to figure out who's whose. Also suspecting that the only reason why it's not there is because Sakura left it there to get something to carry it all. Yeah, I remind you, Nyx is suspecting Sakura, the black pony, the African. Reality check. I have no doubt that your intentions were vile, corrupt, cruel, malicious, racist, and of course suspicious. But you could have hidden it better. That's when the boys come by, and there's a lot of confusion if Nyx is real, if she isn't real, because Nightmare Moon isn't real. There's a whole bunch of wordplay. Let's just get to the scene where Nightmare Moon shows up and ready to gobble them up, and they try and fail to beat her. Only to find out that the Nightmare Moon at the time is actually Princess Celestia, playing Nightmare Moon while Luna's doing her usual. Because why invent something as cool as a clone spell? Or a mirror image spell? Oh, wait, forgot. Guys like reality checks suck at doing magic. Have you ever noticed that with these bad fanfic writers when it comes to magic spells and such? They always suck at doing magic. It's like, they only want to go with the basic spells, like lazy beams and maybe a little fire. There's no whimsy, no cool things like fireballs or clones or stuff like that. They just want to go, yeah, they do these. It's so lame. This is why Moonstone Cup is so much better. Speaking of which, is that still available on YouTube? I never thought about it. Sadly, there's still a live read of the complete series of Moonstone Cup, so I'll be doing my own version here. Sadly. I don't want to do it. Anyway, back to the fic. Celestia just starts cuddling poor little Nyx, starts crying, listening to Nyx talk about how she feels and how much Nyx feels like she isn't real and that she isn't a real thing and that she's a creation and that she's really sad about it and yada 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 yada, and I feel sleepy. And of course we find out that the reason why she just didn't talk to Twilight, she just couldn't find the words and was too afraid to talk to the others because of being a crybaby, which you are! I mean, you kind of are crying and booing, hooing over here. Hard. And then Celestia proceeds to puck off, and they all take off into the sky. And so the two take to the air, they fly by, and Nyx asks Celestia, why do people think it's fun to scare little kids? And there we have it. As I said earlier, Reality Check's problem with Nightmare Night is that it scares little kids. Because he's of this mindset that little kids need to be protected and need to be safe from all the bad things, and kids shouldn't be scared. Oh no, kids shouldn't be frightened. They shouldn't have to deal with the real world. They should be in prison and locked away and never, ever, ever let out until they're 18. What a load. Do you know what I was doing when I was 5? I was watching Friday the fucking 13th. And I'm a reasonable individual. Plenty of other people have done the same thing. You don't need to suddenly protect kids from the world. You know what happens when you start thinking you need to protect kids from reality and like reality tech's trying to say? You get things like this. Yeah, yo, yeah, yo. Dreaming, don't give it up, Luffy. Yeah, you get 4 kids. You get bad editing. You get censorship. You get all that crap because they think kids need to be protected. And do you know what that eventually leads to? Ignorance and stupidity. Because the kids won't know what the real world's like. They don't know what scares them. And what's worse, they won't know how to deal with those fears in a mature, reasonable way. They won't know how to deal with those in a normal way. Reality check makes me think that he's the type of guy who, if he sees something that is wrong on the TV, he would hide the kids' eyes and take them up into the room and never let them out. If he saw 2 gay men kissing, he would say, "That's wrong," and not tell the children what it is. What Reality Check is doing is trying to say kids need to be hidden when they don't. If a kid has a question, you tell them. Sit with them. Walk with them towards, the scary things and tell them it's not real. Help them deal with it. Basically, what I'm saying is, Reality Check is one of those fake parents who would just let their kids watch the TV. And let the TV or the internet be the babysitter. I personally vote to be more like the parents my mom and dad were. If I had questions, they would answer them. TV was not my babysitter. I was raised by real parents. And they soon have a talk about how Nightmare Night is conducted and what they do with the candy afterwards and all that other crap. And of course, we see the 2 perverts watching them fly by. Again, here's the problem. I think Reality Check is thinking too hard about this. It's probably even blaming Celestia for how Nightmare Night is conducted. Which I know a lot of some fans do. Now, I want to preempt this. If you are not one of those fans who blame Celestia for everything, or thinks it was stupid for Celestia to not tell Luna about Nightmare Night, or any of that bullcrap, seek help. For those of you who are sane and want to hear the rest, I want to point out a couple of things. Number 1, about Luna. Does she really look like the type of mayor who would actually listen to Celestia about how things were changed? Because it seems like to me, very much the type of mayor who, as soon as things were fixed, she went straight to her room, came out once in a while, and still was unused to everything around her. So when Nightmare Night happened, she did pay attention to Celestia, just flew off. I can almost see it now. Luna, you still don't know how the real world works. I'll be fine. We will be fine, sister. Do this. But Luna, don't you? Oh boy, there she goes. Because she seems like a very excitable mare. She seems like the type of mare who would also be shy. What's more, about Nightmare Night. I know some people question, well, why did it go on like that? Why did Celestia let that happen? Well, I'm not going to tell you perhaps you wanted to separate the Legend of Nightmare Moon from her sister. I want to add something. And maybe some of you people never thought about it. But, legends happen over time. 1,000 years happened in between Luna going Nightmare Moon, and then now. Now I know what you're thinking. In the show, Luna only popped up as Nightmare Moon for about a few minutes. Well, how could Luna have all those bad feelings? She betrayed her sister, tried to encompass the entire planet into eternal night, and would end up killing every single fulfilling cult in the existence. I think Even 8 minutes of going crazy and trying to kill a family member is enough to put you through some serious PTSD. And if you don't believe me, I think you're wrong. You probably never lost anybody before or had anything bad happen to you. Second, some stallions and fillies have seen that. It was an old castle, after all. Don't you think legends will pop up back there? And before you try to say, but no, why would it? Let me remind you of something. We currently still believe of a legend that some pompous, arrogant British guy was saved at the last moment of being beheaded by an Indian princess. All because he wrote it down in a book that it happened. We got no proof, but we wrote it down. And over the course of 400 years, people just have assumed it's fact. Oh, sure, you might get some people who actually would do the research, but most people still believe it's fact. For Pete's sake, for a more recent example, people think that the Titanic was fiction. Yeah, there are people out there who think the Titanic never happened. So yes, legends sprout out from time and myth. They sprout out. Years pass. Things happen. Have you ever taken the time to think, wait, we made the cell phone pretty dang quick and only over a course of only over 100 years, didn't we? Hell, the computer, the internet, and everything that we have right now was made even quicker. So yeah, the idea that there was this huge celebration legend coming up from Nightmare Moon over the course of 1,000 years, pretty easy to believe when you really sit down and think about it. But why did Celestia let it happen? So, if I'm to understand this one other complaint correctly, Celestia was supposed to control all the information in the world, wait for every single pony to make a mention of Luna's Nightmare Moon, change their minds, make sure they don't think that way, force them to think her way, make them not have free will, and take over their minds. I don't know about you guys, but here in America, we call that a dictatorship. That's usually frowned upon. But no. It's the show that's in the wrong, not you pompous, arrogant assholes. And now, back to what you're all here for. We last left Hal Jordan in the middle of the Flash Museum, staring down Barry Allen. Didn't know me when I was so floated-footed. It was genial, square Barry Allen, soul of the earth, before a caprice of nature made me the fastest man alive. But then, it doesn't matter, because I was hardly changed. Even with super speed, I was still a silly, square, goody two-shoes. Barry, why all this anger? Resentment all of a sudden. He walks around, stepping into the Flash Museum, now dedicated to Barry Allen and his friends. As the good people of Central City, who stuffed and melted my memories in this lousy building and then forgot about me, my superhero days are over. If I can use this baggage of my misfit youth to destroy one of my old stick-in-the-mud good guy friends, so much the better. Whew. Quickly, Barry Allen takes off. But in a second, Flash uses his ring to hold Barry down. Flash. Barry. Hold on a minute. There's no need for a fight. We talked so much lately, but you never really explained. I never was much of a talker, GL. Don't need to explain anything anymore. This compressed Barry rants to make this situation perfectly clear. In a second, Barry Allen fades through the hand construct. It unleashes a pulse of waving energy, knocking Hal Jordan back. I think Barry wants to kill me. I don't understand. We've been back in hell back again. I gotta knock him out quickly, find help for him. Quickly, Barry Allen unleashes a plexiglass construct from his ring, flying it towards Barry. In an instant, Barry swirls around a tornado, knocking it back. A giant boxing glove. Same old Hal. You have no imagination. Sir, no, he's too quick to be vulnerable to a simple power ring punch. Somehow I gotta stop him without hurting him. Grabbing a small statue, Barry slings it towards Hal. Think fast, GL. Does your ring work against bronze? Crash! Luckily, Hal Jordan was able to bring up a shield against the bronze statue. Got this bubble around me just in time. Guess it's no room for doubt. He does want to kill me. Getting up, but Hal Jordan uses his ring to pin Barry against the wall. Whatever's wrong, I can help you. Tell me what's wrong, Barry. His green ring forms a construct with several gears and weights, holding Barry Allen still. Remember our friendship. Remember, you say? You obviously been hanging around the new Flash for so long, you've forgotten me. Otherwise, you would have known I could do this! It does as easily as one would escape a weak rope. Barry phases through the wall. Damn, I did forget how much more powerful he is than Wally West. Probably now he's gone to enter this room from a random direction and with expert timing, Hal Jordan dodges out of the way of Barry Allen as Barry races out. Now, into another room full of Rogues Gallery weapons, hidden by plate glass shielding, of course, and being held there so the Rogues could never pick him up again. Bad mistake. As Barry Allen races through the plexiglass to grab each weapon he can. What would be more fitting than to exterminate my pal with some of my old enemy's weapons? That glorious roll call still echoes in my brain. Racing by, he picks up each weapon and aims them at Hal Jordan, firing them off in Pacific order. Mr. Element, Mirror Master, Heatwave, Pied Piper, Captain Cold, Captain Boomerang. Hal Jordan barely has time to erect Green Lantern's shield around himself as the weapons start bombarding him hard. Barry's backing me to a wall. I had to start hitting back for real. Gotta get him to listen to. And now, for the coup de grace. A poison gas top. Bye-bye, GL. And just like that, Barry throws the top right towards Hal Jordan. That's it! Green Lantern! Oh my god, Dexter. Why didn't you get out of here? Flash self-rescue me from an unnecessary security and appointed me as curator at this institution preparatory. I can't save it. Then let me die with it. Hal Jordan stands up and moves Mr. Element's mask to cover up him, the curator, protecting him from the poison gas. Don't be ridiculous. Put this on. Hurry. To protect you from the gas. My ring will filter my air. Now go! Barry may be nuts, but I know how he feels. I laid my life down for Barry. That would help him regain his sanity. But if it comes down to him or me, what do I choose? Must resist. Parallax. Joke. Must resist. Parallax. Joke. Because I want to remind you people, according to the timeline in the comic right now, Hal Jordan is possessed by Parallax because of the white streak in his hair. Dazil's beard. Something's coming down. It's gotta be him. Darkstar says as he flies over to Flash we see him, seeing it in smoke. This time I hit quicker and harder. Nobody gets in my way. Hal Jordan finds himself in another area exhibit full of weird alien creatures that Barry has also faced off against. Barry, there's not enough room in there for you to vibrate through those bars. Just gonna have to listen to me for a while. Anyone ever tell you you're a real cut-up GL? Though you've nearly forgotten everything about me, I remember everything about you. For instance, your vulnerability to yellow. You know what I need? Using his arm, the yellow bands of his arms, he breaks through the bars. Using his feet, he also kicks out the floor, landing back on the ground, racing towards the cosmic treadmill. A little time travel holiday. Just a thing to soothe my frayed nerves. I think I'll lose myself in some exotic era of the past. Maybe some Neanderthal can give me a better fight. Damn it! Damn it! Where he's gone. There's no way to follow him. Barry's household says this as Barry disappears on top of the cosmic treadmill, only to be socked in the jaw by a hard left from Barry. Guess again, old pal. I just jogged back in time a few minutes and hid behind those curtains, because I knew you'd end up standing there. He picks up the fallen Halzor and starts spinning him around in a rapid circle, like a little miniature top. Then I wait for us to play out our little scene in. Here I am. What fun! By the way, I'm gonna keep this head up until your head bursts like a water balloon. Can't think. Blacking out. Gotta summon enough will to do this. Putting his willpower forth, Haldoran creates a claw-like construct and lashes to the ground, holding it down and stopping Barry to spin suddenly, flowing Barry off. Sorry, Barry, but you've given me no choice. Haldoran picks up his ring and fires a shot. I'm stopping you. You're gonna have to bring down this whole building on top of us. I mean, this is the end of the Flash Museum. Fight then! Have some free souvenirs. Barry Allen picks up a whole bunch of debris and starts throwing it rapidly at Hal. Hal erects a shield construct, protecting himself. Can't wait for something really big to get through. While Barry is blinded by his own junk storm. I'll catch him off guard. Please give me one true shot. Barry uses his ring to float down, facing through the floor, and then flazing up through him, ready to fire another shot. We had a pleasant visit, GL. Let me bring him down without... No! At that moment, Darkstar breaks through the roof and flies down, ready to fire a shot. Lazy his opportunity, Barry Allen deflects the beam with his own green beam. You! A super fast lunatic is loose on as a threat to this planet. That means, I told you, Flash is my friend, and I'm gonna sell this! Ugh! Hal says this as a boot from the discarded Kid Flash exhibit hits him hard in the head. Thanks, GL, buddy. See you in the funny papers. With that, Barry Allen races out the room, right into the park. Darkstar! Barry Allen says this as he gets back up. If you do so much as... BOOM! Explosion rocks the area. Thanks to Darkstar's kinetic energy blast. Barry! Barry! Killed him. You killed him. I don't care what you think you're protecting. You fought your last fight, you son of a... Wait. I've hit dozens of Earthers with that level of power. Should have only knocked him down. Maybe his super speed made his body unstable. Maybe. Maybe Barry just pulled one of his old patented speed tricks. Wouldn't be the first time he's made an enemy think he was dead. Now, if I could just get rid of the... But as Haldoran tries to think of what may have happened to Barry Allen, his construct sends out an alert. It's Carol. Oh Lord, don't let it be. But it's Carol! Good God, Olivia, Barry, Carol, everyone around me is possessed or insane. If Barry's alive, he may need me. Central City may need me. But what horrors will Sapphire commit if I don't get there? It comes to this, doesn't it? That Carol trusted me to drive Sapphire out of her and keep that out. Carol gave me her faith, her love. And even if I can't return it, I owe her something. Clear out of here, Darkstar. Leave this to the people of Central City. You've killed Flash. I think that's enough for one day, don't you? With that, Haldoran begins to take off, only to be grabbed by Darkstar. No, I'm sorry for what happened here, but I got some questions to ask you. Tell me about this mosaic thing. The kidnapping of cities to Owen that you Green Lanterns have been covering up? We've been keeping it quiet for a reason.
How do you know about it? My supervisor just heard of one of the worlds in our jurisdiction. The Pergeros. They got an SOS from a city of theirs, tracking your mosaic. I don't know how anybody could get a message off a mosaic, but the Guardians and GL Courts can handle it. I suggest you back off and let us handle this. So be it. Next time I talk to Perez, I'll remember to mention the Green Lantern in this sector has proven to be far from cooperative. The Green Lanterns act like they're the only ones with any right to protect the cosmos. But they and the Guardians don't own the universe. Can't wait to rub that into the nose of my smug Emerald colleague. As they say this, Barry Allen digs his way out of the ground. It was pitifully easy to fool those two morons by vibrating beneath the surface. First heating of some subsurface rocks until they blew sky high. Now, it's back to the task at hand.
You know, seeing how Jordan get knocked on the head made Trixie think something about your rivers. What? How it's strange that when you and the others were talking about comic books, they would routinely bring up something random that happened in the comics that was either a bad continuity error, a bad mistake, or something that was out of character, and treat it like it was a gotcha moment. I know, Trixie, it's weird. And it's always something that seems to happen with some of these guys. That it's like, haha, well, this happened. Since in the past. Your argument's invalid. Like, does it really matter? What about the rest of the history? What about the current canon? How does any of that mess with the history that we are talking about at that moment? It's like people who don't read comics only want to pick the bad stuff. And just use that as a, haha, gotcha. And not really respect the history of the comic book medium at all. But, what can I say? I actually own comics and read them constantly. His name is Barry Allen. He's the Flash. The deadliest, most ruthless supervillain to ever hold Central City in his thrall. And me, I'm Wally West, his biggest fan. Wally says this as he watches a news feed about Green Lantern's attack and fight with Barry Allen. Littered all across him is empty pizza boxes, thrown away papers, and a 5 o'clock shadow smeared across his face as he watches on helplessly, unable to do anything. A broken man. Nearly killed Green Lantern in a frightening battle at Level Central City's Flash Museum. Why am I not surprised? The bastards turn on everyone. I used to call myself Flash too. I did it to honor Uncle Barry, because he was my mentor, my friend. I trusted him with my life. A few days ago, he betrayed that trust, left me to die, swearing there wasn't enough room in this world for 2 men named Flash. He was right. Next to him, his Flash costume lays broken, thrown away, in the trash, unused. You know, considering that later on in the story, Wally's going to stand back up and get back into action, this just makes GLA Wrath of God even more of a stupid story than I remember. He told the loyal media that I sacrificed my life in the line of duty. I told Linda the truth, but I didn't bother to tell anyone else I'm not dead. Maybe because I wish I was. My whole life has been pointless. I dedicated it to fulfilling Barry's boots without realizing he had feet of clay. When I was a kid, I looked up to him with stars in my eyes. I thought he was perfect, but I was just blinded by hero worship. Whatever nobility he originally formed his legend has since been replaced by bitterness and hatred. Now, in my absence, he's embarked on a spree of destruction, forcing his former friends, like Hal, to try and rein him in.
causing mass panic, vowing revenge on Central C for his words, sweeping aside the memory of the real Flash.
I should be out there, helping them. Yeah, right. What would be the point? How could I hold my own man who taught me everything I know? He's stronger than me. Faster than me. Better than me. Funny. A bunch of times I've been stripped of my powers. While in my mind I was still the Flash. I wouldn't ever let that go. Can I read that line again? Funny. A bunch of times I've been stripped of my powers, but in my mind I was still the Flash. So, Dylan, Act of God, you didn't read that text box, did you? Once again, why do these idiots who write these bad comic book stories never study up on their comic book history when they write these stupid crap? As I've always said before, the only way JLA Act of God works is if you remove the DC Universe. This time, my powers are intact. It's my identity that's been revoked. It makes all the difference. For the first time since I was a kid, sad, Wally steps out of his house. I'm just Wally West. I'm not a hero anymore.
So, if the young Flash, Shiny Suit, is dead like they said on TV, then where's your guy, Ralphie? The old Flash, with the hat.
Three men sat on a guard discussing this, thinking.
That base hanging out. Ooh, scared of the evil Flash. Hey, a little respect, look. Jake Garrick may not be a hot-shot kid, but he's been protecting folks like me since before you was born. We can count on him.
As they said this, the vibrations start hitting the construction building that was still being remodeled.
Yeah? Well, where you swearing when you need right? Hey, everything's just shaking. Hold on. Don't lose your... Ah!
As they said this, the hard hat falls from the building.
What's going on? Where are they blasting? Where's... It's the Flash. He's tearing us down.
Oh, the club up? Oh, Peter gets did this. He just wants to go back home to his 60 wife. Look, people, these are the only jokes you get. Excel references.
Yeah, get a grab. Oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god.
Then, when this is all seem hopeless, through an open door races 3 streaks. 2 red, 1 blue. Stay down. Go calm. We've got you. Told ya! Racing off. The 3 older speedsters confront Barry Allen, Jay Garrick, Johnny Quick, and Max Mercury, all dressed in their superhero garbs, staring down at the man who once they called their friend. That's enough, Barry. We've seen this coming out for weeks now. You'll have control. You might think you can run the city racket, but I can tell you, we're not gonna let this happen. They stare down. The match between the speedsters is about to begin.